we're going to go over how to make the most of UDBapp's features in a rehearsal setting. So choose your song and choose your performer. Click Done. We're brought into the UDB field, and the first thing that I'm going to do before I even learn any drill is just take a look at the animation. Take a look at the first couple pages and kind of see what's going on. As it's animating, I can zoom in and out of the drill chart, and I get to see my performer move on the field along the path. Here I can get a sense of the speed and the pacing of the drill, my different step sizes, and what kind of performers I'm going to be around. Okay, so I've got a good sense of this opening. I'm going to go back to page 1. And before I do anything else, I want to change the orientation of the field. So right now, if we zoom out, we can see that we are looking at the field from the director's point of view, or as an audience member. But as a performer, I want to be able to see the field from my point of view. So when I'm looking at path information or different performers around me, it's accurate and I can be pointing and looking in the right direction. So to change the orientation, we're going to click the UDB button up in the top right hand corner, and that's going to bring up our secondary menu. Here towards the bottom, you're going to see a gear icon. That takes you into settings. So for the settings for this view, right away you can see the perspective. So let's click on that. You'll see that director is selected. So let's click performer. You'll click the back buttons, and now the field has shifted. So instead of the front sideline being at the bottom of the screen, it's now at the top of the screen. So you are looking at the field exactly from your perspective. Now when looking at this first set, for me there's a lot of performers in this area, and I really want to be able to actually just focus on myself for these first couple of sets. So we're going to jump back into the settings, tapping that button at the top right hand corner. We're going to click on the gear icon, and if we scroll down in the settings, we can uncheck Show Surrounding Performers. And when we do that and go back, it hides every performer on the field except for you. This allows you to give yourself a little bit of breathing room and really digest where exactly you are on the field and your relationship to the yard lines. So here I am on page 1, and if I look towards the top left of the screen, I can see that it says counts and 20. This counts refers to the amount of counts it takes to leave page 1 heading towards page 2, and that also corresponds to the path that I see on the field as well. So any green path is showing exactly where the performer is going to next. So in this case, we're going from page 1 to page 2 in 20 counts, and I can animate that. You'll notice when I stop the animation, it brings us into counts view. So you can see that from page 1 to 2, we've stopped on count 13 of 20. You'll also see that the coordinate in the top right hand corner is yellow. That signifies that it is telling you the coordinate for exactly where you are on that count. Now if I want to get out of counts view and go back into page view where I'm seeing the performer on the precise moment of the precise page, we can click the P button on the right. That stands for page view. You'll see when we click P, that button turns to C. We can click that and we're now into counts view, and those plus and minus buttons allow us to move the performer count by count. So before I take my first step, I also want to take a look at the notes that the drill designer left for us. In the bottom right hand corner of the screen, there's an I icon which stands for information. Clicking that is going to bring up the notes that the drill designer left. So here I can take a look and see if there's anything that pertains to me. Clicking the bottom right hand button again, I can go back to the drill chart. Also before taking my first step, I can take a look at which counts I crossed the yard line. So up in the top middle of the screen, I see that I have X counts, which stands for crossing counts, 18, which means going from page 1 to page 2, I cross over a yard line on count 18. Jumping into counts view, I can see that. Click plus. I'm moving across the drill. I'm on count 15 of 20, 16, 17, and I can see on count 18, I actually crossed that yard line. That gives me a great reference point for my very first rep to make sure that I'm getting my step size correct. Regarding step size, I can actually tap on the area that's showing crossing counts and see the step size as well for this set. This is a really good way to see the step size going from set to set. Now that we've taken a look at all of this information, I'm going to bring back all of the other performers so I can get a sense of the form. And I'm going to watch this animation one more time, knowing a lot more information than I did beforehand. I can identify the crossing counts. I'm taking a look at my path information. Since we're in the perspective of the performer, this path information is accurate. Seeing the labels on the field allows me to see what instruments I'm around, what other performers are near me. The step size is helping me to identify the energy changes required to complete the drill set. And now I'm ready for my first rep, having a lot of information to prep me for it. So now, before I've even done the first rep, I know a lot of information regarding notes from the drill designer. I understand how many counts it takes to move to the next step. I know what counts I'm crossing the yard line. I know my step size, and I can identify the shape and the surrounding performers using the animation.